everyone, it's Dwayne again, and today I'm going to make cocktail shrimp. This is a very simple, quick, easy way to make it, and if you want it to come out right, this is the way to do it. I start off by boiling my water with lots of seasonings in it, and these are the seasonings I use. You don't have to follow exactly what I do, but this is what I like to use. Old Bay is a standby for shellfish of all different types, and I like my red pepper, garlic, some black pepper, and salt. Salt I always use when cooking shellfish. I like to bring it up so that it tastes like salt water and doesn't kind of leach out the flavor from any of the shellfish I'm cooking. So the shrimp this has been boiling, it's ready to go. The shrimp is going to be dropped in. When it comes back to a boil, it's done. So let me put in my shrimp. The shrimp is already peeled. It's tail-on colossal shrimp. Although it seems kind of small for colossal to me, but that's what it's called. It does not take much more than a minute. You basically are just bringing it back so that it turns nice and pink all the way through, and it'll be done. Literally, it should take about another minute or so. When it's ready, I'll tell you. So it's been a couple of minutes, and as you can see, it's just starting to boil. As soon as this boils, I am going to take it off of this flame and drain it, and then chill it in some ice water that I've got ready to go. You really want to stop it from cooking to get the most tender shrimp, because if you give it any amount of extra cooking time, it's just going to toughen up as time goes by. It's really close to being done right now. As you can see, I'll lift some up. Yeah, they're just about pink all over, all through right now. And they're starting to really look good. You don't want them undercooked. You don't want them to be clear at all. You do want them nice and white through and through. But overcooking is the easiest mistake to make with shrimp. So they're back to a nice steady boil. So they're done. And I'm going to come over to the sink and finish them off. So here I am at the sink. Let me drain this shrimp off. As you can see, the nice color. There was lots of seasonings in the water. It is really hot and steaming. That is fully cooked shrimp, and it is going into its ice bath. It's really cold. It doesn't take too long in the ice bath. Just about a minute or so to really make sure all cooking is stopped. And I will transfer it back to the sieve in a sec. Going good. I'm going to get the ice out so that it's easier to deal with. Now it's drying a lot of that off. It is. It's nice and cool now. I still like to put them in the fridge for a little bit, but it is actually cool enough that it could be served right away. With shrimp, you really want to get them pretty dried up, just so that your sauces will stick to them. If your shrimp are really wet, the sauce tends to run off. So if you notice when you get them in a restaurant, they're never wet, like they just came out of the pan. They take the time to dry them as well. It doesn't take much, just a little bit of patting will do the job, and you'll have nice shrimp ready to go, and I'll show you that in a minute. So here we have, the shrimp has been plated, in this case martini glassed, and it's ready to go. We use just about any cocktail sauce because we actually take either prepared horseradish. This is the very good stuff. Or we'll even use horseradish sauce, which I've added here because usually that's all I need. And we'll mix it up, and it will end up as that mixture that we have in our martini glass. And it's ready to go for the shrimp. And I will try this type, and Nidia has another type of cocktail sauce that she will show you guys that she likes. So here we go. And it's perfectly tender, nice and cooled off, and I should have no trouble finishing off my glass. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Wasn't planning on being camera ready, as you can see, but since Dwayne insisted that I also include a different sauce, I'm going to show you my version of a sauce that served most famously at Joe's Stone Crab. The original one, of course, is in Miami, but there are Joe's Prime Seafood Steak and Stone Crab in other cities such as Chicago and Las Vegas. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. This is a mustard sauce. I will give you the directions, the recipe, but I will tell you this is my version of it. Not exactly what you'll find if you find a recipe online that's a clone. I am going to use mustard, original A1 steak sauce, Worcestershire sauce, a dab of sour cream, plain yellow mustard, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and some salt and ground pepper. So I'll show you, and it's not a big recipe. This is only going to make a small amount. You can certainly double this recipe. This is a half cup of plain regular mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip, the regular stuff. And to that, you will want to add 2 teaspoons of, actually make it 1 tablespoon of A1 sauce, because I'm making this recipe for the first time with just this amount. And you will want to add double the amount of Worcestershire that you used. I'm putting it in the same thing since it's going to be all going into the same place. And here we go with that. Now, ordinarily, I would measure things out a little more carefully. That's totally not true. But I will tell you, the next ingredient you'll want to use is mustard. I am not going to measure this mustard. If you want to measure this mustard, use 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. You want more of this than you did of the other 2 sauces. I am going to estimate about a tablespoon. To that, you will add 2 teaspoons of regular Dijon. And now you will mix. And I'm not using a whip. I'm not using anything but a spoon, but you'll start to see it gets a yellowish, beigey color to it. Of course, the mayo mixing with the Worcestershire and the A1 at this point. Now I go by color, and I can tell by the amounts I put in here, but you may taste it, that mine is going to need a little bit more yellow mustard. The Joe's recipe, I understand, uses dry mustard, and plain yellow mustard is probably the closest approximation you will get to that particular item for this recipe. So if you don't have it, just add a little more of that. Mix it up, turning more into the golden yellow color. You will then use coarse ground, plain sea salt to taste, not tasting it, cracked black pepper. Continue to stir. And here's where most people leave it. Now, I like bold flavors, so if I were to just taste it at this point, I can probably anticipate it'll need a drop or 2 of hot sauce and maybe another dabble of A1 because of the vinegary, real strong flavored base to that. but I will leave it at this. You would normally chill this for a little while. I'll show you what it looks like chilled in 1 second. So this is what it looks like when it's chilled. It looks like a very creamy mustard sauce. One thing I forgot to mention, I believe the original recipe uses some cream. I don't have fresh cream at home, but I do have sour cream. I did add 1 teaspoon of smooth, plain, full-fat sour cream, and it came out into this delicious, rich texture. And that's what it looks like. You can certainly use this sauce for your cocktail shrimp, stone crab, snow crab, or any other shellfish. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, it's so good. I can put this sauce on anything. Bon appetit. Thank you.